Okay, this video is from a DIYer, hopefully with some handy tips on putting up coving. I just wanted to explain, I'm using really cheap polystyrene coving. I know some of the pros really like the plasterboard, and that is really heavy and really difficult to put up. The alternative is the high density, but on the opposite side, if you've got lots to put up, that's very expensive. I've opted on a number of occasions now to go for this polystyrene. It's cheap as chips, and I'm going to be honest with you, once it's up, you take your time, you paint it with a good quality paint, it looks perfect, does a great job, and you can put long 3 metre lengths up all on your own. So perfect stuff for a DIYer. The only problem occasionally is you get poor finish on the edge. Take a little bit of sandpaper and finish the edge off, and it looks perfect. Okay. So this is about cutting corners, something that I really struggle with at the start, I must admit. So what we're going to do, first thing you need to do is you need to set up your mitre block so that your plasterboard, so that your coving is lying flush with the edge, so there's the same distance at the bottom as there is going up on the ceiling. This is just one way of doing it, of course, by the way. And then the next thing you need to do is turn over and mark the ceiling edge. So I'm going to pause the video now, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so we've marked up the ceiling edge. So that's the edge that's going to go up towards the ceiling, and this bit is the bottom bit that's going to hit the wall, obviously. And then we're going to stand with our back towards the wall, and with our back towards the wall, we're going to have this end as the left, and obviously we're going to mark the other end as the right. So with the back to the wall, we've got our left side and our right side, and we're going to mark that up on the coving. I'm obviously using a scrap of coving here, but I've marked it up as you saw a minute ago with left and right, and then we have to use the appropriate internal cut. So we're going to put it coving side down, that's really important. So we're going to put coving side, down, and we've got our left cut on this side, so we're going to put our coving side down. We're having a look over here, that's our left cut. So we're going to take our saw and we're going to do our left cut like that. Obviously this is a scrap piece of coving, only a tiny piece, but then we're going to move to the other side and we're going to use the right cut, and we're going to do our right cut like that. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so I've done those cuts. And I've used a fine tooth blade on my saw, and you can see I've got quite a bit of bobbling on the edges. Now, in my opinion, they're an okay cut. When I get some sandpaper on those in a second, they'll be good enough, definitely good enough to use in my opinion. I'm going to admit though that sometimes it doesn't cut great, and it does rip a little bit on the corner, which is why you need to buy a couple more meters than you need. But at this price, like I say, it's definitely for me value. Just recut it again if you get a really bad cut, but if you take your time, do a slow cut, you get a good edge. Okay, so I'm just going to sand those up. So there's the visible edges, all sanded up with a small piece of dry, wet and dry paper, although to be honest I've used what I've got at hand and it always seems to work even on this polystyrene. And there is my appropriate ceiling piece, and there we go. Obviously it's the wrong size, but that's your if you glue that up in place, that's going to give you a decent join. Next piece, obviously, stand with your back against the wall. And this side here is going to be a right hand side, the other side's going to be a left.